Hey guys, great to see you. My name is Matt Young. Today what I want to talk about is I want to talk about The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. If you haven't heard of it, it's a book. It's very well known, especially in the entrepreneurship realm. Actually, when I heard of it, it was described to me as canon in entrepreneurship. So, and it doesn't necessarily have to be for entrepreneurship. If you want to do general leadership skills, if you're in a position of management, if you're a group leader of whatever it is, a youth organization, something at your school, something in your community, there's something in there for everybody who has anything that they want to do with leadership. Specifically, what I want to talk about today within that book is the fifth habit. And the fifth habit is called Seek to Understand and Then Seek to Be Understood. Now, the way that I personally interpret this is I interpret it to say when you are having a conversation, a lot of times, and you may feel this too, if you ever get into a conflict with somebody, you may feel that you say the same thing over and over and over again. And then likewise, you feel like the other person, or maybe you don't have a sense of what the other person is saying, you feel like the other person is saying the same thing over and over and over again. I personally think about this as a feedback loop, where both parties are essentially saying the same thing because both parties are seeking to be understood, but neither party is letting the other party know if they understand. And sometimes you may not even understand the other person's side, but you've convinced yourself that you do, and you haven't figured out that you don't understand, so you just continue this loop. Now, the way to get out of this, and I found that almost all the conflicts in my life have been very easily resolved, or at the very least, I've been able to get to a point where you can have a real conversation about it, rather than just coming to a stop and just letting it die, or you get to a point where you say the relationship is more important than the fight, and then the fight just gets suppressed, and then you still have those feelings built up, but you've never really moved past the issue. The way that I interpret this is exactly like it sounds. Make the other person feel understood. And it really is just that simple. If you can repeat the other person's side back to them, and they say, yes, you understand what I'm saying, you will be so surprised how much more likely they are to listen to you now that you've let them know that you've been listening to them and you understand what they're saying. Now, you may not always get a yes. If you explain somebody's side back to them and they feel you fundamentally misunderstood something they were trying to say to you, they have every right to say, no, you don't understand what I'm saying. Again, they're looking for understanding and you're not giving it to them. Or maybe they're not giving it to you, but since you have the power over you, yourself, your own conversation, what you choose to say, it's always going to be the better choice to seek to understand instead of expecting to be understood first. This is what you have power over, and this is what you need to focus on. Now, if the person says, no, you don't understand, either ask them to explain again and say, okay, well, tell me what you do mean because I'm trying to understand you. I want to know what you're saying. Or if you have another interpretation floating around your head, maybe like, okay, were you saying this? And if they tell you no again, then you definitely want to ask them, okay, please explain to me because clearly I'm not getting what you're telling me, right? And the more you do this, the more they'll feel not just good about the conversation, but they'll feel good about you. Listening is such a skill, such an underrated skill that people don't realize how much it's appreciated by other people. If you ever find somebody who you feel really listens to you, you'll know why people are so drawn to it. It's a very personable, it's a very charismatic trait when people listen to you. It feels genuine. It feels genuine. Now that you've gotten them to a point where they say, yes, you understand what I'm saying, then you then can ask for permission to say, can you tell me what your interpretation of what I'm saying is? And if they can repeat your side back to you and they say, I understand, you can then say, I understand what you're saying now. You understand what I'm saying, right? This is what I see, is happening. Because I guarantee you almost 100% of the time, it's something to do with a miscommunication. People are so much better than you think. People are so much better than you think. Conflict almost always comes down to miscommunication because people just so hardly have bad intent. Especially your friends, your family, whoever you're in a conversation with that you're at a point where you actually have a conflict with them, these are probably people who you're close to. I mean, they're not going out to hurt you. And that's another thing, is you have to keep their intent in mind and keep your intent in mind. You're not having a conversation, you're not having an argument with somebody, a debate, whatever you want to call it. You're not going out there to hurt the other person, and they're probably not going out there to hurt you. If you guys are having a battle, it's probably miscommunication. And that's why it's so important to seek to understand and then seek to be understood. Thank you for listening, guys. This has been another episode of The Matt Young Show. If you liked what I'm talking about, if you like just general life topics, mindset, that kind of thing, please like, subscribe, leave a comment below, let me know what you think, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.